Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. It is Rogue Money Interviews, and today we got two dynamic individuals, and I love to have this. I love to have people that are in the industry that are not only doing things, but are providing solutions for people that they can participate in, number one, and number two, people who are disrupting and shaking up the industry. So today we have MetalZoom Energy on, and what MetalZoom Energy is all about is this. It is a crypto metal exchange. It's a network of metal miners and metal consumers, and it enables the true value of discovery from the miner's product into the human network. Now, what that simply means, guys, is that for once in forever, as long as I can remember, we finally have price discovery, where people who are actually producing a commodity will be able to sit across a buyer of said commodity, and they are both will be able to discover what the true value and the true market price for this particular commodity is, versus something, let's say, on the COMEX or anything like that, where commodities are traded in futures contracts, and contracts are being shuffled around left and right and dumped on the market with no bearing on supply and demand. Now, the two gentlemen that I have with me today is Brian Barrett. Brian's an executive experienced in both fund management and the resources sector with over 30 years in investment banking, corporate finance, venture capital, private equity, and mining. And I got my buddy Marc Ward. Marc's a data scientist with a background in applied mathematics and artificial neural networks. In other words, Marc's a real smart, very smart dude. Focus on optimization and prediction. Marc started out with alluvial gold mining near the Obasi, Ghana region in 2015. He's also a graduate of the Air Force Academy. You can also check out their website, which is metalzoom.energy. Metalzoom, one word, .energy. With that being said, Marc and Brian, welcome to the show. Marc, Brian?
Yeah, V, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Marc. Welcome. Why don't you guys open up and tell us a little bit about yourself? I know I gave a little introduction there, but anything if I've missed, and also tell us what MetalZoom is all about.
Yeah, great. Well, MetalZoom is our plan to launch the first private energy firm. The plan entails launching two products, two services. The first is the crypto metal exchange, which, as you described, will be an open bid auction for metal scheduled for delivery across our private Hyperledger blockchain. I don't know if you know the Linux Foundation's Hyperledger blockchain. It's a business blockchain, open source. So we'll be able to use that and build on top of the open source framework there. And then the other is crypto metal mining process. And this will connect metal miners, silver and gold, lithium miners throughout the world with crypto capital to launch their mines. And then the contracts, the metal delivery contracts, will be on our Hyperledger blockchain and deliver the metal from the mines to the consumers and the individuals who require the metal for either their jobs or their desire to store their energy.
Awesome. Brian, what's your take?
Did we lose Brian? He's in South Africa, so we may have the connection may have dropped off for him.
Brian, I think we might have lost Brian. Anyway, Marc, continue, sir.
Yeah. So anyway, I graduated from the Air Force Academy in 2008. I spent my first 4 years in the Air Force doing space operational testing evaluation as a lead analyst and then a test director. I was the test director for the Enhanced Polar System. Planning and coordinating with all the satellite stakeholders throughout that system. And then I got picked up to go teach at the Air Force Academy in the math department. I had to get my master's first, so they sent me to the Air Force Institute of Technology, where I earned a master's in operations research. I'd like to point out, V, that in 2013, when I was getting my master's, I was networks, and I solved an artificial neural network NASDAQ 100 futures market to try to predict the next moves in the market. Very surprised that this artificial neural network, the first one I solved, essentially was 88% accurate over 4,000 times a day, predicting the next tick.
Wow.
And I thought I was gonna be rich. I was so pumped. I was like, all right, I solved it, kind of thing. And then when I tried to trade it, and when I got into it, I wasn't able to trade it because of the queue of contracts. But now that was in 2013, and so I kind of left off, and I had already passed CFA level 2, the Chartered Financial Analyst Institute level 2, and I started studying for level 3 in 2015. That's when a classmate of mine from the Air Force Academy came to me and said, hey, we should go gold mining in Ghana. And I looked into it. I was like, there's gold there. We should go get it. And I convinced some of my friends and family to trust me to go get it. We set up all wrong. I didn't know Brian at this time. It was our first experience. We took some wrong advice. And so when I came back, I really needed to, I got a consulting job. And the, I guess, funny thing is, I ended up working consulting for USAA, and I was working their chief risk office, and I was in charge of 6 other data scientists reviewing their entire corpus of model documentation. So USAA has about 330 models across their entire, that very much run their business. And so I was in charge of reviewing all their models and all the risk documentation and everything that goes along with that. And no one really asked my opinion of the analysis of it, but essentially what it came down to was everything is a mathematical model, all relies on the underlying assumption of my psychological desire to exchange my energy for a debt IOU from the non-federal no reserve anti-bank. So that assumption bleeds through every single model that is out there in our society, and that assumption is fickle and is falling apart. And I don't think I should exchange my energy, my limited, scarce energy, for something that is growing at an increasing rate and not is infinite in supply. So I got together with Brian and said, hey, we should set up another system, another way to exchange energy, distribute energy globally. And the crypto metal exchange will be the first manifestation of our capability to equitably distribute energy globally, and to prove the metals prove the value of metals within the human network on an auction exchange.
Fantastic. Brian, you're back, and tell us a little bit on your end, Brian, and also a little intro about you and how you got involved.
Sure. Sorry about that, guys. I'm all the way over in Johannesburg, so I did lose signal, and it may happen again, but we're okay for now. You can hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic. Right, so I'm 54 now, and I started my bachelor's degree when in the early 1980s. So I'm part of the generation that's responsible for screwing up the world and really perpetuating this lives in debt digits. So I have to tell you that when Marc approached me, I jumped at the opportunity with both hands. One of the first lectures I went to in business economics that long ago, we had a course which was called How Banks Create Money. How Banks Create Money. And I promise you, it bugged me my whole career from that one time when I learned how the system actually worked. And it kind of led me to become global financial system. And I promise you, I hate the banks and the banksters and so on. And I've been looking at various ways of exactly what Marc's doing for a long time. So I spent my time in investment banking, and having earned a bit of money myself, I love business and business opportunities, and I started doing private equity off my own balance sheet, attracting capital to Africa. There's lots and lots of entrepreneurs and opportunity out here, but not much capital to invest. Mm-hmm. And people are scared of it because they don't really understand the risks. And so the beta risk, whatever that they use, they just price things so oddly. So anyway, for my sins, I am a fund manager, and one of my functions is to act as in executive capacities in some of our investee companies. So let me tell you about African, which AR Gold, I beg your pardon, R Gold, which is strategic partner in MetalZoom. So we're an emerging gold producer, and what we do is we pursue a quick to production, low cash cost business model. We focus on high grade, smaller ore bodies. The techniques that we use in terms of our modular right-sized mining model provides an end-to-end solution, which basically employs a fully scalable, low capital cost, energy efficient, and environmentally friendly alternative to traditional gold mining practices. And then I used to say, and what I loved so much, because we really became, when we focused on this, a specialist in what we do. And I used to love telling people that our business model transfers both price and technology gains directly to our stakeholders, to our shareholders. The problem is always that you can only sell your gold for what the market dictates, and the more I got to understand that our lives are being dictated by CME and the algorithms and so on. I mean, if you could, you would want to sell your gold before 10 o'clock New York time every day, because at 10 o'clock you have the waterfall drops when these algos kick in, and no matter where the gold price is trying to get to, it just gets slaughtered every single day, and you can watch it religiously. It happens over and over again. So the price of gold is so manipulated. So when Marc, I think maybe he came and he got hold of us after, I think while he was having his Ghana experience. And man, the lights started going on for me. And as they say, the rest is history. I think our relationship and MetalZoom is going to do big things.
Yeah, absolutely. Marc, give us a little understanding of how the layout of MetalZoom is all about.
Yeah, so MetalZoom Energy is basically Brian and I right now, and we're raising crypto capital in the form of Zoom coin contracts in order to launch our MetalZoom Energy partnership. And so the Zoom coin contracts will be basically our net energy produced every quarter, every day, or every month will be measured in Zoom coins. And our partnership will, Brian and I work for a percentage of that Zoom coin net energy. So per the Zoom coin contract, you either get 60% of the net energy or 80% of the net energy, depending on what contract you have with us. And then multiple layers within that will enable us to continue on to produce metal from the mines that we acquire and that we joint venture into. So initially, we're going to raise Zoom coins and partner with AR Gold and launch 3 gold mines in Africa, and that R Gold and us are still working through those details, but that's the initial plan. Is the initial Zoom coins will launch 3 mines that are all ready for production in 8 to 10 weeks. Okay, so, and then we're also selling private broker nodes. Now, these private broker nodes, there'll only be 2008 the first year, and then 77 per year for 10 years. So we're going to finish off with only 2,778 private broker nodes in existence. And these private broker nodes will have exclusive access into the crypto metal exchange. So only the private broker nodes will be able to auction on the metal. So I suggest that you acquire a private broker node. And in that way, all of your contacts, you can funnel them through. They'll have to come through you in order to make bids on metal for delivery. And then also another way we're going to continue to deliver metal on the Zoom coin contracts is by selling Zoom tokens. Now, Zoom tokens are available for anyone who, once we launch the crypto metal exchange, anyone who wants to purchase from metal miners streams of metal delivered to them, or auctions. If they want us to auction it for them, we can then deliver them cryptocurrency. But essentially, so an industry partner can come to the crypto metal, come through a private broker, acquire a Zoom token. A percentage of that Zoom token will go to the private broker node, and a percentage will go to the Zoom coin vaults. And the Zoom token contract is required to then purchase into a metal a crypto metal delivery contract. It gets a little complicated, but essentially anyone new coming to the exchange can purchase a Zoom token to then acquire metal from a miner, a stream of metal from a miner, but they require the Zoom token contract in order to enter into metal delivery contracts. That by making people purchase the Zoom token contract, we can then reinvest in MetalZoom energy operations. And in that way, to have a continual supply of metal and maneuvering through the mines as they, as we tactically and strategically optimize our way through the metal extraction process.
Fantastic. Now, the phases you have here, the analytics, the incubator, the vault, the insert change, metal delivery, crypto metal, there you go. You just described the whole thing for us.
Yes.
And you're also talking about smart contracts. Now, how would this play out? If you could describe for us, like how would this whole entire thing work from the miner to the buyer?
Yeah, so right now the miner doesn't have any capital to go mine, right? So I know a couple mines where I can go up and start mining right now, but I don't have the capital, I don't have the time to go do it, the human capital to go do it. So by having a platform where we can exchange cryptocurrency for future metal delivery, we can then enable the miners to acquire the capital today to then produce the metal tomorrow. So that's how we're going to connect the miners and the consumers, is through the platform and our Hyperledger Fabric blockchain framework, which is going to be distributed across our network of stakeholders and individuals who want to store the contracts themselves. And then we'll be the clearinghouse essentially. So AfroZoom, sorry, and we just rebranded, so I keep saying AfroZoom, but MetalZoom Energy. MetalZoom Energy will be the middleman, essentially acquiring the metal, making sure it gets delivered on time and on target. And then we'll also, on top of that, sell insure chain contracts to potential individuals who look to reduce their risk. And that's another way to reinvest in our operations, is by selling insurance contracts for metal delivery or backed with cryptocurrency and metal delivery.
Got it. Fantastic. Brian, what say you?
I'm so sorry. I'm kind of just playing catch up here for a second, because I lost signal again for a while. I didn't get all of that. If you lead me in, then I'll gladly give you my opinion on what you've been talking about. Just
on the slide that Marc just put up here, the crypto metal exchange, how it would work from a miner to a buyer, and how a person who's interested in, let's say, in a particular mining company, how they can help them fund the mining operations, and then at the same time get a return on their investment. How does that work? Are they getting paid out in tokenizations? Is that how they get money? How they get paid? How are they able to take delivery? I mean, how does this all come together?
Okay, well, let me talk from the side of supplying the metal. One of the greatest problems in terms of the production of metal these days is, well, it's been like that for all time. Junior gold miners are looking for a minimum of ounce deposit, and it must be able to produce 100,000 ounces of gold a year, if we're talking gold. And that's kind of the benchmark. Otherwise, they'll never get a liquidity event. They'll never be able to sell out to a major. So across the region where we operate, the discovery never be developed, because the size of the deposit is not large enough to have a large scale operation of that nature. But those things to bring into production, it takes about 15 years from discovery to actually getting into production. It's a long haul. And so you have these gems of high grade deposits, which you could easily access and right-sized mining level of production. So with Marc's idea, it works so well, because if we joint venture with the guys who have the licenses over these properties, we can easily have access to metal and be able to produce metal. And then as Marc says, the net energy that is out of enabling these folk to earn a living, and then selling it on an exchange where there's an open bid auction over the Hyperledger framework, which allows transparency, and we get paid real value for our efforts and labor and so on. It will be advantageous. And for people facilitating that, it's right that they get their share of that net energy. And that's the system that Marc's created. And that's why I'm such a believer.
Got it. So what's the future for you guys? What are you guys? What's the next step? What's the next level?
Well, we're hoping to leverage this interview right now into a couple other interviews out there. We're targeting both the miners that that Brian just spoke of, and then we're also talking to investors, the gold and silver stackers, and the mining investors out there. And what we want to do is specifically address the fact that a neural network which I created was able to track the CME futures exchange so accurately, and given everything else we know, well, a hypothesis test would reject the null hypothesis that the CME group is fair and honest, and therefore we have to assume that it's not fair and honest and look for other alternatives. And so therefore, given no alternatives exist right now, we've created one, and we're trying to attract the energy and the investment to that alternative right now by connecting with both miners and investors in gold and silver, people who understand, and also cryptocurrency investors who understand the magnitude and the potential behind connecting metal and cryptocurrencies, both scarcity and utility, and globally viable and understood. And so we're in a 30-day C2. We're in our 30-day C2 bonus period right now of our crypto capital raise that ends 20th of September, and then we start our C3 bonus period. You can see the bonuses on our website at metalzoom.energy, and then we launch our full crypto capital raise where we're selling one Zoom coin for one Litecoin, and we're trying to raise as many Litecoin or Litecoin equivalent as possible, and we're doing that for 77 days. So in all, it's a 145-day crypto capital raise from start to finish, and we're about 10 days in so far. We have 770 Litecoin raised, and 30 ounces of gold, and probably about 200 ounces of silver committed so far for Zoom coins.
Fantastic. So how can people get involved, gentlemen? Marc and Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, they go to our website, metalzoom.energy, and on our Zoom coin details page, you can submit your email for an address request and submit some Litecoin. That's how you become a Zoom coin stacker. We're accepting Litecoin, PivX, and Zcash as our 3 cryptocurrencies of choice. We have the exchange rates of the 3 given on our website. So that's how you become a Zoom coin stacker. If you want to request the energy plan, you can also submit a request on the website, and we'll promptly reply with the energy plan. We're also looking for people just to comment back and give us better ideas to make our community stronger. For example, we rebranded because the initial name was thought to, by the crowd at TF Metals Report, was thought to be not accurate. So we rebranded the MetalZoom Energy, and our goal is to deliver metal globally and create the opportunity to equitably distribute energy to everyone globally as well.
Absolutely. And Brian, let me start with you. What are your closing comments in regards to this, and what you're hoping to accomplish as well?
Well, thanks for the opportunity to participate in this forum. I think for me, in closing, I'd like to just say that if you have a look on Twitter and you watch the normal traffic, you'll see a lot of comments like gold versus Bitcoin, and precious metals versus crypto and whatever. Our offering is the two things together. So you're getting the very best of all the arguments, precious metals in your portfolio to protect you in a time of deflation, hyperinflation, or coming social unrest, which we're seeing very evidently now. And it ties in all of the arguments, all of the best arguments for crypto and why Bitcoin was invented in the first place. So it's a marriage of those two things. And I don't think that you could get anything more powerful than that.
Absolutely.
Like this, we are obviously what we're doing is we're trying to give people an alternative to pricing their lives in debt digits and being paid in debt IOUs that can only be exchanged for more promises. Eventually, those promises are not going to be kept, and we're going to have a global financial reset. And getting in on the ground floor in this opportunity is really going to stand you in good stead.
Absolutely. Mark, why don't you give your closing comments?
CJ, I appreciate the opportunity to Brian and I can come speak on your radio show and your YouTube channel and YouTube channel. I was born into this debt psychosis. I was only ever taught and trained to desire life and energy for non-federal, no reserve, anti-bank notes. I realized that is a psychological operation against me and most importantly against my children.
Right.
I demand that we stop that and that we refuse to let a cartel dictate our desires and decisions, because that's what they're doing every day with the futures market, is manipulating our decisions and our energy distribution globally by them creating an infinite supply of debt digits they can acquire and dictating the price of those in debt in energy terms. They can acquire all the energy and leave everyone with nothing but IOUs and IOUs for energy. And that's when, I hate to say it, but that's when the apocalypse comes, and the apocalypse is an energy bankruptcy when the just-in-time delivery network fails because there's no more credit within the complex. I don't call it a system. I call it the debt complex fee.
Yeah.
An opportunity to latch on to something else as we take off and get out of this debt complex psychological operation.
Absolutely correct, man. We're with you totally 100% on that as well. It's people always ask, where can they put their investments, or they want to buy some cryptocurrency, they want to be involved in something in terms of uncoupling from the debt complex. And I think companies like yours are just a great opportunity for people to get involved at the ground floor. Gentlemen, I want to thank you both for being on. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you guys on and share this amazing opportunity and an amazing business model to begin with. Thank you all. And again, and where can people go and check the website again? It's
MetalZoom.energy.
Yeah, absolutely. MetalZoom.energy. Thank you all for listening in, and take it away, CJ.